Hey friends, it's Emily from burlapkitchen.com, and today we're going to do a crushed can craft. So the first thing we're going to do is take off both ends. Now this is a can from supper, so I already had the other end off and washed it and rinsed it. And then we're going to take the bottom off. Once we get both ends off the can, then we're going to take a hammer and just kind of smack it down on the bottom just to kind of punch it in a little bit and make a little pocket. So now we're going to use some Waverly Antique Wax, and I'm just going to use that with a baby wipe over top this cutting board. I got this, I believe, at Walmart. So I'm just going to apply that. I did do front and back. And once it's dry, I'm going to come back over to the can, and I'm going to use some white chalk paint on the can. Now, anytime you're crafting with a can like this or something shiny, you do want to use chalk paint because it will adhere a little bit better to the can. Now that it's dry, I'm going to use my sanding block, and I'm just going to scuff that up a little bit. And then I'm going to use some of the Truffle Waverly chalk paint and just sort of dry brush it all over the can to give it sort of like a rusty look. And I did use a little bit of the Dixie Belle Antique Wax too. And make sure you do that on both sides, just so depending on how the can's sitting, some of it's not covered. Then I'm going to go ahead and take a little piece of material and just tie a little knot in it for a little embellishment here at the top. I used some tags. These are from our printables, and I'm going to go ahead and crumple that up a couple times and put some antique wax on it just to make it look old. And then I put the paper punch hole in the top and just glued that in place. And then I took a rusty bell and just punched the back of it down and glued that on top of the tag. Now I'm taking some floral foam, and I just used a serrated knife just to kind of cut it down to the size I needed for the can. And then I just glued my can in place and the foam in place and started adding some flowers. Now I wanted to show you, I did put some Christmassy ones in here because I wanted to show you that this would be pretty for any season and you can kind of switch them out. Of course I need to fluff it and all of that, but I just had them sitting there and I just wanted to show you real quick how cute that would look. So I did decide to add a little embellishment to the top. And I just added some twine and just looped it around a few times and tied a little bit of knot, or a little knot in it. And the flowers that I have in now, you'll see, I'm going to take those out. I kept the blue ones, but I wasn't liking the greenery in the back. So I just got a different type of greenery. I cut that down and just started stuffing that in the back of the can. And what's really cool about this is that you can change these out for any season. And I'm just going to add one more here to the center. And once I get that in, I just add a little bit more sizzle. And I did put an American flag in this one. It turned out so cute. Let me know what you think and if you plan to give this one a try.